Hi, Tyler from Interfidelity here. Today we're going to talk about what amounts to an absolutely terrific headphone, the Oppo Digital PM-3. This is a $399 planar magnetic headphone. It's a full-size around the ear sealed headphone. It's quite a lightweight headphone for a planar magnetic, and comes with a cable that has remote control on it. This headphone is basically intended as a luxury or a high-end or very good quality mobile headphone. So you can use it with your phone. You can talk on the phone with it as a headset. It's sealed, the seal is quite good, so it'll keep out a lot of outside noise. So this is a great traveling headphone or headphone for listening in relatively loud environments, open office areas, and so on and so forth. Traveling, you could certainly do some traveling with this. It won't be quite as good as a good noise canceling headphone, but it still will be pretty good. I wouldn't say it's a great traveling headphone though. I would go with a noise canceller for that. So the headphone construction is very nice. There's a lot of metal parts here and here. The gimbal, this part is plastic. This is a pleather, not a real leather, but it appears to be a fairly high quality artificial leather. The ear pads are memory foam, and they're quite comfy. And put it on here. The outside of the earpiece is aluminum here. Cable entry is on one side only. Pads are not user removable. They can be removed by putting your fingernails under here and pulling really hard. And so do-it-yourselfers might want to do that, but you should read the article because there's foam underneath that you'd have to get through to get to the screws and stuff. So I really wouldn't recommend taking these headphones apart. Sliders are nice and secure. When you slide them in place, they stay fixed, and it's fairly easy to adjust. The swivels on the gimbals are very nice. There's no noise or creaking or anything. So I would say this is a very, very nicely built headphone, and for $399 has a pretty solid mix of good materials on it. The styling is very nice, very conservative, not over the top. Certainly a kind of a masculine, conservative look. So all in all, in terms of build and comfort is quite good. The padding is really ample. The ear pads are actually smaller than the PM-1 and PM-2 from Oppo Digital, but the opening is actually bigger than the other two headphones. As I said, they're quite light for planar magnetic headphones, so they are pretty comfortable. Regular headphones, dynamic headphones, can certainly be lighter, and as they get lighter, you don't need quite as much padding and quite as much caliper pressure to have them feel comfortable in place. So I'd say this one does hug your head a little bit, and you do feel a weight. It never really disappears, but it remains quite comfortable for long listening sessions, even though it doesn't. Now the sound quality. Let me get to the accessorization first. It does come with a remote cable. You have your choice of an Android remote, an Apple iOS device remote, or a short cable without any remote on it. Also comes with a long 3-meter cable, so a 10-foot cable. It has the mini plugs on both ends. This is a screw-on type, and it does come with a little 1/8 to 1/4 inch adapter. Has this little bag here for rolling the cable up and putting it in, and a nice Velcro wire tie in there. And it also comes with this very nice selvage denim clamshell case. You have to remove the cable to fit it in the case, collapse the phones, turn them flat, and there's this nice little pad in between the two sides, keeps them from bashing together. Nice space here to put your headphones in, and a fairly small and thin package when you're all done. So I'd say the accessorization for this headphone is very good for a headphone of this price and type. Sound quality. Wow. This headphone may be the most neutral headphone I've ever heard, actually. It comes very close to the Harman target response curve. It has this character between 300 hertz and 800 or 1000 hertz or something like that, where there's a slow rise in the raw frequency response that doesn't happen on very many headphones. And what it does is it gives you a nice, powerful sense of the voice. Not the fundamental tone of the voice and the overtones of the voice are really nicely imbalanced. It's not like some of those overtones are drawn away that makes the voice sound a little bit distant. There's also good presence area response, which means that you're going to hear the spittle and growliness and lip smacking and saliva and things like that, all in very good balance. So this headphone does a great job on vocals, I found. It does have a little, the bass is very, very neutral, right down the middle. There may be a slight excess of bass as it transitions into the mid-range, but it's very small. The mid-range is, as I said, is beautifully aligned. The treble has a couple of problems in it. The very top octave of the treble, above 10K, is slightly rolled off. That gives this headphone a little bit of lacking of a sense of air and finesse. And you lose a little bit of imaging from that. And also there's a region between 4 and 8K that's a little suppressed. And that 4 and 8K region sort of makes the difference between an S sound and a th sound. It just softens that sibilance just a little bit. The opposite of the problem, you get really kind of shrieking, piercing highs, and there are a number of headphones that subdue that region, maybe intentionally. So it's not surprising to see it there, but it is a little excessive in my view on this headphone, and it does take a little liveliness out of the headphones. So all in all, these headphone dynamics are very good. Bass is nice and tight. Nice and punchy. Things can really pop, especially if you put it on really good amplifiers. This headphone does scale well. The imaging isn't quite as big as one would like ideally, but it's a closed headphone, and that doesn't happen very easily on a closed headphone. And then B, with that top end rolled off, the imaging is a little bit subdued, but it is very articulate headphone. There is enough information to image fairly well. So I would say it's above average in imaging. And when I mean above, well, it's above average in imaging, not quite as good as the best $400 sealed headphones. I would say that of the $400 sealed headphones that I really like, which is the Shure SRH 1540, the Focal Spirit Pro, the NAD Viso HP50, and the Audio-Technica ATH MSR7, I'd say this headphone is pretty easily the most neutral of those headphones. But other than the Focal Spirit Pro, it also doesn't sound quite as lively as those headphones do. So there's a little bit of, it's straight down the middle. It's kind of like going to a party with all the honor roll students. It's just a little bit boring. But it's very, very good. So these headphones are definitely going up in the Wall of Fame. The Focal Spirit Pros are coming off because they don't quite have the balance of some of these other phones, and they don't quite have the resolving power of some of these other phones, and they don't quite have the comfort of some of these other phones, so they're going to fall off. And the Oppo PM-3 is going to go on. I highly recommend you get a chance to listen to one of these. I think this is going to be a go-to headphone for a lot of people. Certainly, audiophiles should audition those other headphones that I mentioned. If you're an audio professional, though, and want a neutral headphone, a reference headphone for your work, boy, this, in a heartbeat, is a terrific headphone for audio pro use. So, hope you get a chance to hear that soon. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys the next time around.